Good morning, all, and welcome to All India Runners Motivation Facebook page, where we bring in stories of the lives and achievements of all legendary runners from India. Today's guest is a champion. He has actually won two medals in Asian Games, two silver medals, both for relay. 1970, where they won the silver medals 4 by 400 meters, along with Mr. Bogeshwar Barua, Sucha Singh, and Ajmer Singh. The time was 3:11:09. Asian Games 1974 also silver medal 4 by 400 meters, where he actually has team members were Lamber Singh, Sriram Singh Ji, Sucha Singh. So it gives me great pride and pleasure to bring in today's guest, Mr. Punnappa. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Rajesh. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How was the weather in Coorg?
Oh, it is. It was raining in the night, but now it is very nice and pleasant, lovely weather. Coog is always blessed with good weather. So this year, little too much rain in the last 1 week, but it's fine now. Yeah.
Okay. So what is it about the weather of Coorg, wherein it produces so many champions?
Well, it is more than anything. I think Cougs are genetically made for sports actually, and we produce lot of soldiers and lot of athletes, sportsmen, especially hockey players. Plenty of hockey players, dozens of them, great names actually from Ganesh, Govinda, and Sunil. So many of them. It's very difficult to remember the name. So many of them, dozens of them actually represented the
Okay.
country. Yeah.
Yeah. Armed forces, yes, definitely. Lot of people from lot of members in the armed forces from
Lot,
Coorg. Yeah.
lot of soldiers, lot of generals. I think that living generals maybe a dozen now, more than a dozen living generals.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about your childhood, sir. Where were you born, and how does this? What are the games you're playing in your childhood?
Yeah, I was born 1947 in a place called Titimati in South Coorg, and I was a village boy as usual. I mean, it's a village, normal village life. Going to walking to school, it's about 2 kilometers from here, the village school, Titimati. So we used to walk, we used to come back, and mornings and evenings, parents would insist on the regular study. Study means hardly anything to study. Usually, the tables and things like that, and most of the time spent running around the place and carrying the hockey stick to school, playing little hockey. Hockey was the only game which we knew. Athlete in sports means frog hopping and three-legged race. These were the things generally in school. Those days, village school. That happened till about 3-4 years. After that, I went to Virajpet in South Coorg again, and I studied for about 2 years in St. Anne's School. From there, I after that continuously till my college, I was in boarding house. I was in St. Joseph's Indian High School, St. Louis boarding house, which is the St. Joseph's College of Commerce in Bangalore today. So I that used to be our hostel. So we had a huge ground, not one, two grounds, and we had fun because we had a warden called Father Michael Saldana. He used to play good hockey. He was always, and every day was a different game. So hockey was prominent. So we had a lot of very good players, and we we used to have a lot of fun playing. We used to have one day of football, one day of hockey. Weekends used to be cricket, and we used to really have fun every game we played. And when school sports came, we used to take part in school sports. There was no specific thing, and we used to take part and have fun. There was a PD physical director called Mr. Arigya Swami. Yeah, he was a great guy, and he's very fond of all of us. So we used to have a lot of fun in school. Sports used to be so prominent in our life. So, and during our time in Bangalore, in St. Joseph's, uh, Bangalore School Athletics and all the events related to Bangalore schools to be very popular. Hockey, football, cricket, wherever it was possible, we used to take part. There is no question of anything, and it was also outing from the hostel. You see, so it was fun. It was great fun, and the the staff and the principals and was very good. They used to encourage a lot of sports, and studies used to be very limited. It's not a wide-ranging study of today. It used to
Okay.
be just right, and probably we had a lot of time for extracurricular activity.
Okay. Not many subjects
Yeah,
then.
that was, and then of course, yeah, that was then of course college again went. Uh, can I talk about my college also?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, and then college, of course, I went into government college. It's called Gas College those days. Even now, I think they call it Gas College. So I was
Okay.
there, and I used to be in Central College Hostel. And then sports was one part of my life. So a little bit of cricket, maybe inter class hockey and things like that. But somehow I was very fond of running. So I used
Okay.
to just get out of my hostel room at 5 in the morning. Somebody used to be there with me. Used to run and run around the Maharani's College and the prison and all those places because Central College Hostel was there. So it was real fun. So evenings I used to spend in the stadium. It was good. I would say I had a very good physically active childhood and the
Okay.
college. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Yes.
Wonderful. So when did this
And
real interest in athletics start?
yeah, athletics. You see, what used to happen was after school. One day I happened to go and just give my name for uh, uh, a state meet. So I was quite brisk runner. So 100 and 200 meters, I gave my name and happened to finish second to a boy called Bahadur Singh.
Okay.
I mean, he was from one of the schools, and it was under 16, I think, under 16. And then I finished second in both the events. And then Chikkapapa, there was a administrator called Mr. Chikkapapa. He was very,
Yeah.
very fond of, he was very good administrator. And they, you understand Kannada? No, anyway, he
Yes.
told me, hey, why don't you do athletics? Why do you want to do all the other sports? So I took it. It's like, okay, let me try. And then I suddenly realized, I said, I love it. So, and then the environment was such that I started going to stadium every day, and he put me on to a coach called Mr. Lingappa, who was a
Yes.
Dronacharya Award winner.
Yeah.
Wonderful chap. So from the hostel, there were days when you would say, okay, you are 11 o'clock today, we will go and practice. So there's
Okay.
a lot of traffic in the track. When you're, if you go in the evenings, there's a lot of traffic inside the track. So he used to say, okay, 11 o'clock in the morning, we'll go and run. So he used to come with his stopwatch, and then we used to make me run, whatever I had to do. And evening I used to go and have fun, like. So that's how it was. So he was a great guy. He pushed me a lot. Mr. Chikpape also pushed me. I went on to win a few medals in the junior nationals in Bangalore. And after that, it became one of the, it was like an addiction. I didn't run. I would feel frustrated. So that's
Okay.
how athletics started. So I must thank Mr. Chikkapapaya, great guy, Mr. Lingappa, another great guy. So I had very good, you know, people around me. There was another athlete, long distance runner called Ramana, who was reasonably good national level, and he used to come in the morning at 5 o'clock to my hostel room,
Okay.
and then he used to say, "Come, let's go." So we used to
Okay.
go run around the prison. It was next to Central College Hostel, around the prison, and it was fun. And whenever it rained, I was on the roads, so I used to just put
Okay.
on my kids and run on the roads.
Okay.
Bangalore those days, no traffic, good fun. So Cubbon Park was one of my favorite places to train.
Okay.
Uh, Good, I had a lot of fun.
Wonderful. It's nice to hear the name of Chikkapapaya sir and Lingappa sir, because Chikkapapaya, when I took the interview of Mr. Kenny Powell, he also mentioned how helpful he
Hmm.
was actually for his career also.
He was a very, very wonderful, so committed. I don't think he missed even one day. And he used to tell me a time and used to be there at that time. He used to work in the Bangalore University office,
Okay.
and we used to walk together across Kaban Park to the stadium,
Okay.
both of us. He used to bunk his office, I used to bunk my class. So
Okay.
that's how we were to go. So I somehow thought I had to do something in this. I loved it, so I wanted to do something. I mean, with the limited resource, we did wonderfully well. Like both of us, I would give him credit for everything. And
Okay.
yes, of course, I had other coaches along the way, so it was a
Yeah.
good experience. Yes.
That's nice. So tell us a bit more about Mr. Lingappa. How he helped to shape your career, and what are the things he taught you actually? Because he was your first coach, if I understand.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
yeah.
then
So tell us what.
after
Yeah.
some time, I had to shift my after hostel. I had to shift somewhere. I went and stayed with a coach called Mr. Krishna. Kenny must have told you about him.
Yes. Yes.
I used to stay with him and then
Okay.
worked with him. I mean, I had 2 wonderful years of sprinting. That was I used to do very well in the 200 meters during that period.
Did you also train at the
So
same
it
track
happened,
that
and
Kenny used
then
to
after
travel?
college and all, I thought I must. It was so difficult to represent the country
Okay.
those days. You could win any amount of nationals, but you had need to be, little advanced. So CM Mutaya Chimu, to call him Chimu. CM Mutaya, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
he had come back from Germany and he was in Patiala. So he also had a talk with him. Then I went to Patiala after college, and then I stayed in Patiala. I stayed with him, and then he put me on to a coach. Mr. Jagmohan Singh was the coach, sprint coach
Yep.
in
Yep.
NIS those days, and wonderful chap. I mean, they were all were wonderful because they were so committed. So I trained under him till Asian Games, and then uh, I joined Tisco because Mr. Kenny Boson was there. So he coaxed me to join Tata Steel. So I joined Tata Steel. I was there for a few years. Uh, and then my responsibility to the children, family was more important to me. That's why I started losing interest in athletics. And when I stopped enjoying in athletics, I thought I must call it quits. I didn't want to prolong things. I used to just go and have enjoy myself running, and
Okay.
beyond that, I think family came more important. Then I got back to Bangalore because I wanted something, for my children's sports. Sports was the main criteria. And
Okay.
then, well, children have grown
Doing
up
very
well.
well. So you had
Well,
three
I would
different
say.
coaches. Mr. Lingappa, Mr. Krishna, and Mr.
Uh,
Jagmohan. Uh, what
Mr.
is the
Jackson,
difference between
I'm Mr. Kenny Boson also, I should
Mr.
give a
Kenny
credit because he motivated me for a few years. But
yeah,
then,
and Mr.
it
Yeah,
didn't really drive me any further.
okay.
So,
So
I
my
could.
question was that you had all these coaches, Mr. Lingappa, Mr. Krishna, Mr. Jagmohan, and Mr. Kenny Boson. What is the
Three
difference
main.
between what is the difference between each one of them, and how did they actually help each one of them? In your
Yeah.
running and betterment. So let's start with
See,
Mr. Lingappa, then we can
Lingappa
go to Mr.
was
Krishna.
It's very difficult to differentiate. They had all their values, but Lingappa was a guy who really drove you. Like disciplined and very like emotional about your training. I missed whenever I used to come off to Cook for a holiday during holidays, he used to be saying, Enappa, you're missing so much and all that. So because of that, I missed a lot of events also because I used to
Okay.
come away. uh, and whereas Krishna was one of those flamboyant uh, guy who's to his training methods were a little different from Lingappa's. He was not driven type of guy. He was a fun-loving guy, and it reflected on his methodology also. Whereas Jagmohan was highly scientific training. Like he knew. I mean, they were all more educated in the field of sports and had more experience under Dr. Kovacs. who was the Hungarian coach at that time in Patiala. So his method was fine tuning things, which also helped in a great deal. And being in Patiala, of course, you had so many people around you. So when I was staying alone, as in when even there was no camp, I used to be there. So Praveen Kumar used to be a great friend of mine, discus thrower,
Yeah.
great fun. So we used to, and it was a different experience. And when I joined disco, Mr. Kenny Boson was another motivator, but he was more technically sound in throws and things like that. But it was a different experience altogether. But I would rate uh, these three people, they're totally different personalities. And that's what I said during Krishna's time. When during the period of Krishna's time, I was doing very well in 100 and 200 meters.
Okay.
I mean, my time, everything. And I went on to do in nationals also do very well in 200. But during Lingappa's time, I had more energy when it came to 400 meters. And it was, and Jagmohan, of course, fine tuned on everything. It was three great guys. Every one of them, I'm very grateful actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are in that era where there are a lot of great sprinters. Tell us about a bit more about that era where because I'm sure you would have actually raced with many of them and as
Yeah,
competitors and
I
also
did.
maybe stayed with many of them. So just
Yeah.
give us a brief about that era of sprinters.
Yeah. See, let me tell you, when I started running 400 meters, I was quite young when I won my first nationals. I was 19 years, and it was fun. Like carefree, not bothered about what happened. My motivation factor was Kenny Powell actually. He
Okay.
was a hero for me. When I walked into stadium, the first thing I wanted to see was Kenny Powell because he had just won the nationals and I think Indo-Russian. Some of the we used to have those matches those days. A team
Germany, I
used to
think
come
it was.
from, yeah, Germany, Russian. They have to come here, and it was like 4 or 5 tests we used to have, just like cricket tests. They used to have athletic tests. So
Okay.
those, and he had done exceptionally well, and he had done 10.4, and I was really floored by Kenny and his smoothness, the way he used to run. So Kenny was a hero of mine. Of course, there were so many other, but Kenny was really one of my favorites. Even today, is a favorite guy of mine. So I went and he was a great athlete. Then, of course, we had Francis Coutinho. Then he had Tawade. Then he had, of course, KP Ramaswamy, of course, a great friend of mine. And unfortunately, we lost him. He was, in fact, I used to take him to the stadium. He used to say, okay, you come from the hostel. I used to go, okay, you come. He had a Suega, those moped called
Okay.
Suega. So we both used to go. And he was such a lazy guy, and I push him, prod him. It went on to win 6 nationals after that
Yeah.
in the 100 meters. And he was a great guy, miss him a lot.
Okay.
And then, of course, Milka was just going downhill, though he was running, but uh, he was a great athlete, but I never had much interaction with him
Okay.
because he was much, much more senior to me. When I first went to Calcutta, he was beaten by Makhan that year. Because I
Okay.
remember I was in the hospital that time. I was only getting news because I contracted chickenpox when I went to my first nationals, under 16 nationals in Calcutta. So I
Okay.
was shifted to a hospital. I stayed there for 2 weeks and came. So that was the thing. And then this, of course, lady athlete. There were quite a few great sprinters. And my wife was really wonderful. So many nationals continuously she won. She was almost unbeaten, and her record stood till PT Usha broke it actually.
She was
And
like PT Usha, right? I mean, you said 100,
pardon?
200, 4 by 100 and 4 by 400.
Yeah, she in Kottayam National, she won 100, 200, 400, 4 by 400, I think 4, 5, 4. She won everything that was in sight, and she was unbelievable. It's so unfortunate that they were not getting the breaks. Everybody, it was difficult to get into anything. Sorry, the dogs are barking. Uh, yeah, and uh, then we had Kamaljeet, who did very well in the Asian Games. So good friend of ours. So and then in Karnataka also we never used to lose the 4x100 meters, and we had
Okay.
Kenny, and then we had that was AP Ramaswamy. Then we had there was one Sridhar Alva also, so very good. He used to do decathlon, but he was good at 100 meters also.
Okay.
So we had sprinters, and then national level, Rajshekharan was another great athlete. He also ran very, very well nationals. And then Steffi D'Souza, senior to me, but she was this wife of uh, Coutinho. Coutinho's wife, Steffi D'Souza. She was a great athlete herself. And uh, uh, yeah, these are the guys I remember very well. And then, of course, 400 meters, we had Barua running away. Sucha used to run very well. I mean, it was lot of sprinters because especially 4 into 400 is very. I shifted to 4 into 400 meters because I knew that was the easiest way to get into the Indian team. Otherwise,
Okay.
I mean, it was very, very tough. Very, very tough. I remember we had a 106-member Asian Games team, and which also constituted football team, hockey team, water polo team, basketball team,
Okay.
along with and we were a small group of 16-member athletic team. I think that time that was one of
Okay.
the largest athletic teams ever to tour. I think those days. That was it. Olympic Games means only one. Kenny, because the relay team at that time was so strong. Kenny and Francis and uh, what
There was
other
Milka
in
Singh,
1960,
Kenny.
I remember. Otherwise,
Yeah,
they would
Milka
not have
Singh,
made
Kenny.
the Olympics.
Yeah. So you got Milka Singh,
Yeah,
Kenny, and
Francis Coutinho.
yeah, Francis Coutinho, and I think
Yeah,
Ajmer Singh also. I think
Rajshekharan.
so. Yeah. So
Rajshekharan is good. Yeah,
Raj Chicken. Okay. So
yeah, yeah.
that is an era of great sprinters. So tell us about your first national event. I know that okay, under 16 where you had chicken pox, but tell us
Yeah,
about your first national games medal. About the race and how
yeah.
was it?
First, yeah. Now, what happened? I had gone to Chandigarh for my university meet. Never expected anything much. I thought I was running okay, and then I had a small toe injury. So I mean, some problem. So I had to cut up an old pair of spikes to fit my toe in, and then I ran. I finished second to one Baby Thomas. You must have heard of him. Baby Thomas. He won the 200 meters. He won the nationals also. Let me tell you. And then I ran the 400 meters. I won. So I said, okay, let me take it. Then immediately after coming, I was traveling to Kottayam, 1967 nationals, and I was not expecting anything. I thought maybe a medal, great thing, because team from Asian Games had come. They had done very well in the Asian Games. They came, one or two were running, and then I found myself in the finals, and I found myself leading at the 80-meter mark. When I came off the bend, not leading, I was just saw one person ahead of me. I said, "This is great," and I went on to win, which was I surprised myself.
Okay.
And the timing, the track was very poor those days. Cinder track poor, but anyway, I managed to win very comfortably. And I thought, not bad. I'm not a bad athlete, so that was my first nationals, which where I surprised myself. Then I went on to win a silver medal in the 200 meters. Surprised me more. That's it. That's how I won my first nationals, because I was a carefree and fearless athlete. I never used to bother about anybody. Anybody put in front, I never used to bother. I used to just run. I just wanted to enjoy. Even when I lost, I never used to bother much. I used to enjoy running. That's it.
So how was
That
your
was the
family's
way.
reaction when you came back? After winning the medal, or when you went
Uh,
back to your home?
yeah,
How was the
let me tell
reaction?
you about that. My brother, who was a doctor, he came to see me in the hostel. They were all very happy. My hostel friends were the happiest. Hostel, all of them, they used to really look after me very well. All my friends in the hostel. And when I came to Coog after to meet my dad and mom was very excited. She started crying. But my father, he said very good and all that. Then he told me one thing in Coog language. He says there are mountains higher than mountains. You know, uh, I realized that when I started losing, when I, to be like, there is always a bigger mountain. When you climb a mountain, you realize that's exactly what he meant. When you climb that mountain, you realize there's one higher than you. That means he was telling me that there are always better people than you. So, which is so true even today, in anything you do, you realize that there are always bigger things to do in when especially in the field of sports. Always you are finding somebody who's better than you, which which is I'm he was very reserved in his appreciation, but I guess they were very happy. And my mother also, the moment anything good happened, like my children also, she's always cries. She's a very darling of a person she was.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So good.
that's it.
So
That was the.
you won the national games, and but you are already staying in Patiala. So was there any transition time for you from from that place in Patiala to the national camp? How was the
Yeah,
experience of the
see,
first national camp?
yeah, camp was something for, it is because everybody is your rival when you're in a camp, rival and a friend. You see, go there, you live in a camp, you're also wanting to beat that guy, but at the same time you are staying in the same room with them. So that's how, there's a great bond. I'm telling you, my God, Kenny Ramaswamy, then there was a guy called Adrian Kennedy, Satish Pillay, myself. We were all such good friends and fierce competitors. Kenny looks such a mild, but such a fierce and sincere competitor. I can tell you, he's an example for everybody. He used to be called as a gentleman sprint king. Just he deserves that title actually. More than his medals, I think that gentleman sprint king is the best title he could have got. He was such a wonderful person, and we had such fun. I can't tell you. It was all we supported each other, competed against each other. Camps are always fun. Always fighting with the mess manager. So. Uh, this was the way it was. Let me. I mean, it was camps were fun. We looked forward to camps, but competitions were very few and far between. Unfortunately, we couldn't get much competition, so that was one of the reasons why performances also were very varied from time to time. We never had a season per se. We had everything rolled into different seasons were rolled into one season. Like whole year. Suddenly in January you have a meet, and then you have a meet in March. So whole year you are preparing for something, and then it was difficult. It was that way. It was difficult. Otherwise, it was all fun, and the training methodology was also completely different from what is today. We just worked on your running, but today it is running is small part of your athletic ability. You are in the gym, you are preparing, each muscle is taken care of. But during our days it was only running. So you had a
Okay.
program and you did the program, and then you prepared. So it was not like you had a rest period, or you had no nothing like that. It was totally different then.
Was
But
there any
camps
concept of
were.
strength training at that time?
Pardon?
Was there any concept of strength training to to strengthen your
No, not at
muscles?
all. Very towards the latter part of thing, then we started little weight training, but it was not much. Uh, the emphasis was more on running, endurance training, and every training is to be on, like. It was absolutely no. We never had a concept of working out in a gym, weight training. Very little towards the latter part of our career. The gym, weight training and all came. That was hardly anything. But today it is totally different. You spend so much time in the gym and very little time on the track. Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, how was it? I'm sure, I mean, because as an athlete, you never did strength training, and suddenly at the later part, of your career, you were introduced to it. And that's the same for
Pardon?
all the other athletes. How was the reaction of those athletes to do strength training? Was it like one of those days, like it's like a punishment kind of thing, was it something like that?
No, I don't think we looked at it like punishment. I mean, it was all fun. Like let me tell you one thing. I don't know today's athletes, but our time athletes, I think they freaked out. They enjoyed themselves. So that is true amateur sense. You ran for for enjoyment, and whether you won or lost, I think you enjoyed the race. I mean, you are disappointed, but disappointment would melt away very, very fast, and your friends after that. But today I find that there is a lot of professionalism, which is good. Uh, Children are totally, they have tunnel vision today, which is also good if you want to perform. But I know disappointments are also very, very big. You expect too many things, too high performances from everybody, which is also dangerous. It is nice to have tunnel vision, lot of expectations, but disappointments also. One should realize that maybe 0.01% of the athletes can be really great. The rest are all, but all of them should get credit, because you can't have a champion unless you have multiple. How are you going to become a champion when you don't have competitors?
I mean, you
So
require the person to come, people to come at second,
exactly,
third, and
you
fourth
need
also, right?
everybody to be there, and everybody should be appreciated.
Yeah,
Neeraj Chopra has to beat so many people to reach his level, you see.
yeah,
So he has to be thankful, and we all have to be thankful for the others who have competed with
yeah,
him to get his best. So uh, that's the way it is. Life is like that. If you don't have competition, then it's no fun.
yeah.
And also,
So
children must learn to enjoy themselves.
absolutely correct. Without enjoyment,
Right.
it becomes very difficult. It should not be considered as a job, especially sports.
Yeah, true,
Otherwise, it
true,
becomes
true.
very difficult
Which
to move
some
ahead. Also,
athletes
you
do.
at some point of time you might get burnt out also because of that.
Yeah, most of them do that. Most of the sportsmen get burnt out mentally, because of me, I enjoyed it till the end, but again, that feeling of what is there for me from now, like what am I going to do in future, what is it, what I'm going to enjoy next year, next 10, 15 years. These are all very important issues where I think even sportsmen today should address that very, very seriously. What after? It's very easy, when you're winning, when you're happy, when you're going traveling, everything is fine, but after that, what? I think the associations also must prepare the children for that also. It's very,
Yeah.
very important.
I strongly feel that there has to be some way of helping them to plan financially, which will help them in
Yeah,
the future. There has to be a proper
true.
insurance facility in case they get injured, so that they are taken care of if they are not able to,
Yeah,
do well.
yeah,
And some
yeah.
amount of education is also required, which will help them to get
Very.
future jobs. Uh,
Yes.
which was, I think, we hear the stories of all the other, some sad stories of athletes coming up, and I feel that if somebody had actually, also told them this is also important or guided them,
Exactly.
maybe they would have done better in their life later also, rather than
Yes,
living a
yes.
life of penury, or of really really bad means, and that pains us when we hear such stories. uh, uh, just wanted to check up. You actually ran majority of your career in the cinder tracks. Did you happen to run in a synthetic track, and how was the experience if you had ran there?
Only training, synthetic track. We never had the opportunity to run on a synthetic track in the competition. Never.
Okay,
It's always
okay,
cinder, uh, one or two grass tracks. Otherwise, no. Only competition was completely. But cinder, yes. As a practice, we went and ran. When there's track outside where you just go and run. Otherwise, never in on synthetic track. Uh, Cinder track, that was the best available, and we got the best. So, I mean, no regrets there. I wish we had the synthetic track. Well, that was the time. You can't expect anything different. We all had the same. Everybody was. One thing is, ultimately everybody runs on the same surface. You see.
okay.
So,
I mean,
I mean,
summer
maybe
days
there
in
may be
summer
a
days in
difference.
Patiala and cinder track. How was it? summer days in Patiala and cinder track.
Uh, Patiala, Cinderset in Patiala.
Some on
I,
summer in summertime.
oh my God, summer, we were getting roasted all the time. So I think majority of the year, so it was terrible. I mean, Punjab was unbelievably hot and dusty, and it was unbelievable. And the stay also, we stayed in low roof areas, and but then it was, we used to be tired when you got up in the morning, but that was the same case for everybody. That's what I say. uh, the conditions are common for everybody, so we made the best use of what we had.
Okay.
But the facilities today are totally different. It is so good, and they get to stay in air conditioned rooms. At least your recovery is better, your medical facilities are better in the camps. It is totally different and great. I hope they keep improve it further and make it more science based. And I mean, we are on the way, and the government is also thinking in the right way. Sports has become a priority for this government. I'm so happy about that. It's good. At least children in future will have something to look forward to. But also they are educating the children. They're putting a lot of emphasis on sportsmen getting educated also. That's
Yeah,
also a great thing. I mean,
which
it's
is
good.
nice. So your moment of glory, which is like the achievement in career was the Asian Games, which is 1970 and 1974. Tell us about those experiences and how was it
No,
winning
let
the
me
medal?
let me correct you there. I was not there in 74.
Okay,
Sorry, Tehran, I was not there. 70, yes. Experience was that, we had a German team down just before going to Asian Games, and I was running pretty well, and we went there, and I mean, we ran very well, and that was the best. That the Japanese team which won was exceptionally good. They had won the gold and silver, and then in the individual event, and then that was the best we could do, I guess. Uh, it was quite an exhilarating because you're winning a medal where you're a frontier which you never experienced before. It was good, and the company was also great. I had Kenny and Ramswamy, all of them winning the medal in 4x100. And then we had excellent. Kamaljeet was winning, won the 400 meters. We were so happy for her. She was not expected to win. She won. She beat Chi Chang. Not Chi Chang actually collapsed at 350 meters. She hurt herself. I mean, she pulled a muscle or something. And Kamaljeet went on to win that, which is a great thing. And it was fun, we're all so happy. Joginder Singh went on to win the gold medal. We celebrated every medal. The only thing we didn't celebrate was a match which was in our hands, India Pakistan final. We lost.
okay,
Unfortunately, I mean, they played. I mean, right through. They played so well right through and went on to lose the match. So sad it was. That was a low point of that games.
okay. So tell us
And
about that
then
Asian Games,
yeah,
the race. What was the strategy at that race, and
no
how
strategy.
was the
I was
finals?
running the front leg. Uh, I did the best I could. Then I think Barua ran the second leg. He ran very well. And by the time he reached the other end of the bend, he was leading by about 3-4 meters. Not leading, he was second, very close, about 3-4 meters behind the Japanese. The Japanese team led from the front. And then Sucha ran. He ran a good race. And then Ajmer, of course, always very consistent. Professor Saab. So uh, he was one of those serious. He was a teacher, so naturally he was serious, very very dignified gentleman. So nice. Uh,
Okay,
it was, yeah, we ran. There was no strategy. We had to run our race. So we did that, and yeah, we got silver. Which silver was a disappointment, but that was the best we could do. The Japanese were far. They beat us by about 7-8 meters. They were far
okay,
superior side that year. Yeah.
okay. So how was the felicitation when you came back home, back to your village?
Nothing. I came back home. So we were in we as soon as we landed, we were supposed to go to Kapurthala for the Open Nationals. We went there. It was bitterly cold. December uh, 30th, first week of January was the Kapurthala meet. Went there, it was so freezing. And then, of course, we were all introduced as medalists and things like that. Then we came to Delhi. I couldn't. I was a little unwell. I had little this thing. Then uh, I had just joined Tisco that year. Then I wanted to come back home. So I quickly called my brother and told him I need some money to fly back home. So I flew back home, met my parents, family, everything, everybody happy. Then proposed to my would-be wife.
Okay.
Asked her if she'd marry me. She agreed. So it was nice. It was like everybody happy.
That is
Yes.
another medal.
Yeah, that was the biggest gift of my life, my wife.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Uh, so, what happened in the 1974?
No, 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 no. 74. Honestly, I was not at all in the picture because
Okay.
I didn't run. I didn't even go for the selection trials. By then, I was, I was running, but I was not, after 73, there was that comfort level on the track was not very good. Mentally, I was not, let me tell you, I quit too early. I think I wish I had continued a little further, but no regrets. I mean, I was happy to do it. I mean, happy to do get along in life, but somehow that drive was missing.
Okay.
The motivation to go and work, because I was a very hardworking fellow, that was missing. So I thought I should taper off. So I was running for Tisco and steel plants and things like that. And then slowly I started pulling out. And I even did one nationals. I got a bronze medal in the 4x4, 400 meters hurdles also. Hyderabad
Okay.
Open Nationals. Yes.
Okay.
So like that, so many medals, but that kind of drive was not there. It was just sheer for fun
Okay.
of running. I used to run, but that drive was missing for after 73.
Okay.
So then I thought I should call it quits and start working hard. I did start working hard. Then my children came. Then I thought children, family is more important than get back home, closer to my home. Came to Bangalore and
Okay.
started my own business. I did. I started working out with my daughter. She started loving tennis, so took her on. She started winning everything. Every nationals, junior age group nationals, she was winning. She went out to win the nationals, both grass court, hard court. Played Fed Cup for many years for India. And
Okay.
then when yeah, that was it. We used to either my wife or myself used to accompany her wherever she went, all over,
Okay.
everywhere. So
That,
tennis is a different scene, no? So you need to travel. Somebody has to be with. If you lose first round, you need to go out from there, go to the
yeah.
next place. So every week there's a tournament.
Yeah.
That was it.
So, at any point of time, after the Asian Games, where you actually was there any trials for Olympics, which you participated in?
No, see, I used to try. It was not that, but that was the. It was very very difficult to get into any of the teams because the standards, the timing set standard was so high. It was very very difficult to achieve those standards. Let me tell you, it was very difficult for anybody. Hardly anybody is to achieve those timings. Three, four guys. It was very very tough. World standard. I mean, to be honest, we were nowhere near the world standard. Those days. That's why it was. That's why the only passage to these events were through relays and things like that. Unless you had an excellent bunch of guys, it was very difficult. As individual events, it was just impossible. Impossible.
Okay.
Yeah.
You excel as a sprinter. Any reason why you never ventured into coaching?
Pardon?
You excelled
I
as a
couldn't get it.
you excelled as a sprinter. Any reason why you never ventured into coaching other athletes?
Uh, See, temperamentally, I don't think, I could. just about do fitness work with my children. I don't think I am temperamentally geared to be a coach. I was never. I think I had a short fuse,
Okay.
which was dangerous with young athletes. I realized that even with me on my children, I used to sometimes lose it, but it was very difficult to control. I don't think with my temperament I could have been a coach. I could just about advise everybody on what and all, like that. But day to day coaching, it is a difficult task. It is, I think, it is coach life is more difficult than an athlete's life. He has to be temperamentally uh, calm all the time, motivating different children in different temperaments is not going to be easy. You need to have a different standard for every athlete. It's not easy. I mean, coaching, it looks, like, oh, I want to be I was a champion, so I want to be a coach. No, I don't think so. An
Okay.
ordinary non-athlete can be a great athletic coach. Let me tell you that. It is more theory based, and it is a mental approach to your athlete whom you are coaching. Like Anju was trained by a volleyball player, her husband,
Okay.
Anju Bobby George.
Yeah.
So how do you? I mean, he was never an athlete. He was so it needed a different this thing. So each athlete, you need to first and foremost study the athlete, and then I think you have to go and uh, do. I mean, coaching is very 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 difficult job. It is not easy. uh, I think it is. I know the 3 or 4 coaches I have trained under. I realized that it is you need a different approach to a coach. Like it's not easy. Even when you have to one has to choose a coach. I think the parents have to study the uh, approach of the coach first, and then put them, because it can't be one dimensional coach. Each one is different, physically and mentally. So, and their home conditions have to know, financial conditions, and going, as you say, education is very important. The coach also must motivate the children to study and do well in studies also. If if you have to go, if child has to come and live with you, you need to do that also. So all these things are important. Unless you have coaches, like, you can't produce results. No.
Okay. So we have got two of your colleagues also out here saying hello. Prabhakar Rao sir, all the way from Hyderabad. He's saying hello. And Jnanasekaran
Yeah.
Ramaswamy
Hello.
is
Yeah.
also saying.
Okay. Hello.
So Jnanasekaran Ramaswamy is saying
Yeah.
hi PC. So so I think that is where you are
The
called as
audio is
PC.
not very clear.
Now I said Jnanasekaran Ramaswamy sir is also saying hello to you
Oh, okay. Okay. Hi,
all the way from
Jana. How are
Chennai.
you?
Yeah, I'm sure he's doing well. I just wanted to check up with you. I mean, you were at a time where there was less of weight training and other things. How do you think has the scenario changed now? In sprinting, when it comes to sprinting, and why is so many? I mean, not many runners from Karnataka actually for sprinting.
No, the audio is not very clear. The
Yeah,
question
I said.
question is.
How was the sprinting changed when it compares to your time? How was the
Yeah,
training methods and how are things changed now?
yeah. Now, let me tell you, the sprint, it depends. Like the 100 and 200 meters, it has become a muscle. Like, you are very muscular today. Our time, it was never. If you are muscular, it is a difficult thing for you. But today, it is all about developing your muscles, particular muscles, and it's all, developed in the gym, and your flexibility, and then it is just explosion of muscle power. Our time, it was all, smooth rhythm, like, uh, basically, I think you are talented, your ability to coordinate and sprint, and today it is all muscle power. Of course, coordination and everything is there, but it is explosive power today. It is more of a bodybuilder's job today than our time, unless, there are a few who are exceptionally, like Bolt and all. There are a little exceptions, once in a lifetime, once in a generation athletes. But most of them, you notice, they're all bulky and heavily shouldered. especially the 100 and 200 meters. I think you need to be very, very powerful. That's why timings also improve, and you are just there to, explode from the blocks and go. And then, but of course, even today, some of the rhythmic runners are there, but very far and few bit, in between, So that's what I feel. But today, sprinting is sprinters are produced in the gymnasium than on the field, track and field. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, sir, we have been speaking for the past almost close to 1 hour. So, I'll come to my last
Oh,
question.
is it? Oh my God, the time just flew.
So,
Anyway,
my question is that final advice for young athletes who want to become an
young athletes.
athlete like
Yes,
you.
that is very important. Number one, don't neglect your studies. Study. Very important. First, study, and being a knowledgeable person is very important for your sport. And then work very hard with tunnel vision. Yes, you must work very, very hard, and then be very, very humble when you, especially when you are successful, and dedicate yourself to the sport. Be disciplined, uh, be nice to people around you, be good to your parents, uh, work hard, and and be happy, enjoy what you're doing, listen to your body, enjoy yourself, and be good citizens for your country, bring glory. We'll be all very happy. The whole country will be with them. Yes.
Okay. So, thank you very much, sir. It's been wonderful speaking to you. Most importantly,
Thank
thank
you.
you
It is
very
such
much
a
for your
pleasure.
time. Your idol only gave me your number, so I must thank Mr. Kenny, sir, for giving me
Yeah.
your number, which
Yeah.
helped us to coordinate this interview.
Yeah.
And thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much. I had great time. I enjoyed. And let us meet when I'm in Bangalore, please.
I'm sure we will. We will. So
Oh,
please be on in the studio for a minute. I'll just thank my audience.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you very much for all who have tuned in. Fantastic interview. As you know, this interview will also be available on YouTube later. I'll put the link for it by tomorrow. And thank you very much for coming again. Yeah, next week, most probably Monday or Tuesday, I might have Anthony Coutinho, sir, who has agreed for an interview. And let's see. I hope that he'll be there to talk to us. But looking forward for this. And thank you very much. If you are celebrating Diwali, and wishing you a happy Diwali in advance. And hopefully, we should have some good interviews during Diwali also. Thank you very much for coming in.